Welcome, everybody, to the Minions of the Zoo Tuesday edition. If it's Tuesday, this must be Skep Tock, and it is. I'll be your keeper this evening, and with me, I have Minions
Happy
Prospero.
birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday
to you.
Happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday,
Dear
Skep.
Happy
Happy birthday
to you.
Thank you, guys. You know, as you can tell from the
wonderful rendition of Happy
Minion Memorial Chorale that just finished singing "It Is My Birthday." I am 69 years old today. And, hard to believe that nearly 70 years ago, a lady from Texas waddled into the Sandia Air Force Base and hospital in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and said, "Get this kid out of me right now." It's irritating even then. And
You were born in a
69 years.
hospital?
Yeah, it's hard to believe.
I thought it was by a manger.
Yeah, no. in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
kidding.
No, it wasn't. But with me this evening, I have minions Prospero,
Hello.
and other minions are Blind Press,
Hi.
Jenna,
Hi.
and we're extremely happy to be joined by the Irate anti-communist, aka Irate Prostate.
Howdy, y'all.
And a couple of superstars have dropped by just to dazzle us. We have Satsu 2 Cents.
Did you said superstar?
Yes, and the Ranting Monkey.
Hello.
I am so
Happy
happy
birthday,
to
sir. Seriously.
thank you.
I just want to say this. I'm taking over right now. Sorry. I know it's your show and shit, but this is what I do. You mentioned you're having a good birthday, and I'm glad you are. And I'm sorry I jumped in there like that, but I like people who enjoy their birthdays. And more of y'all need to be like that. Just decide to go, yes, sing to me, damn it. Give me a good day. Celebrate that my parents had me. Because the rest of the year, nobody cares.
Right.
Birthdays are great. I consider my birthday as my New Year. I honestly fuck New Year's. My birthday is my actual New Year. That's how I look at it.
There's a certain logic to that.
Who doesn't like their birthday?
Lots
Well,
of
there's
people.
some people,
Lots of
you know,
people.
they don't like the idea of getting older, so they're just like, eh.
Well, it's going to happen regardless of whether they like it
Oh,
or not.
shit.
So you
Why
might
you
as
Yeah,
worried
no
about
shit.
it?
or just roll with it.
There's either
Okay,
there's
Steph, I'm
physical. Yeah,
Any day on this side of the dirt is a good one.
exactly.
You know, that's true. I've had the good fortune to get to do a lot of interesting things in my life. Most of it was really before the advent and ascendancy of the internet. What I love about being online and social media is that now I have friends all over the world. I mean, I literally have friends all over the world. Talk to them. You know, I talked to Terry Diamantis like he's next door, and I've flown to that part of the world. It takes a long time to get there. When you fly to Singapore from Denver sometime, you'll be impressed with how big the world is. And to have that kind of contact that casually, I just love this part of the year that we're living in, and with all the problems and everything else, I'm having a ball.
Dude, when I was a kid, if you made a call to Australia, you'd have to mortgage your house to pay the bill.
Yes. $900 dues.
So, you know, just to make you all feel young, I will tell a couple of anecdotes, and you probably all heard these stories before, but old people get to tell them again.
And too bad it's your birthday.
Exactly,
That's right.
It's a birthday privilege. But people who know me know that in 1959 I flew with my parents and the rest of my family from New Jersey to Frankfurt, Germany, in a propeller-driven plane, a four-propeller Lockheed Constellation Super G.
Oh,
Like Indiana Jones?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
It was, and I actually got to sit on the co-pilot's lap, who was
Oh,
a friend
cool.
of my
you
dad.
flew in a
from school.
Connie, man.
and yeah, and he actually let me take the yoke, and I got to do kind of a crabbing move with the aileron, over to the right, and then we crabbed back to the left, and showed me how it
That's
worked.
cool.
And we're over the middle of the Atlantic when I'm doing this. We're following a beacon to the Azores because we don't have enough fuel to get across the Atlantic. You have to land in the Azores off the coast of Portugal and take on fuel so you can make it the rest of the way. It was really kind of exciting and sort of fun.
That's
And
so cool.
and then and I was I had just completed the second grade. I felt like I had all the education I needed, and and
As one does.
I just yes, I just felt like this is the capstone of an educational career of which I'm very proud. To fly in an airplane like this, I just thought that was the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, that's
And so
Yeah, man.
you take it from that level. And at the time, my father was already in computers. He was working on the ENIAC computer, which Google that, ENIAC.
Good God.
Yes, he actually worked on the ENIAC. He also worked on the Mark One, and these were literally the first computers, the first analog and digital computers. He was actually an analog computer expert for a long time before he, like the rest of the industry, went digital. But those were some of the decisions that were being made back then. So going from that and going from 3 years in or 4 years in Belgium with 4 years without TV, that was another thing. I didn't have any television over there, and TV was new. It was cool, and I felt very put out that I didn't have TV. All I had was the damn encyclopedia. So my dad said, "Why don't you read it?" And I said, "Okay, I will." And so I read the encyclopedia. That's what I spent the rainy days in Belgium. And Belgium gets more rain than Seattle.
Oh, that sounds super fun.
Oh, it was great, man. 220 days of rain a year. Look it up. And
Skep,
yes.
how many countries have you lived in?
Oh, as far as lived in for any period of time, just a few, France. That I count my time in Singapore because I spent a lot of time there, and Belgium are the principal ones. But yeah, I've been to a ton of countries. I've been very lucky that way. But anyway, we came back to the United States and moved to Colorado Springs, Colorado, which has like 230 sunny days a year, which was pretty awesome. And I got to, there's Harry. Hi, Harry.
Good evening.
What's up, Harry?
Howdy.
Just telling a little bit about my life and reflecting on what it is to be, this age and some of the things that I've gone through. So we had some major things. This was 1963. Got back and they had McDonald's hamburgers for 12 cents a hamburger, which we just thought was amazing. And we got to have one every week after church. We'd go to church out in Colorado Springs and get to have a hamburger. They had television, which was astonishing. Not just television, but after a couple of years, we actually got a color television, which just blew my mind completely. And the other thing was it was just beautiful weather and fun places to go hiking. Living at the Air Force Academy was just absolutely amazing. Then moving to Virginia, and I got to know Virginia. Went to high school there, on to Northwestern for 4 years college there, and found out I couldn't get a job, so I enlisted in the Navy. And they said, "How'd you like to take the test for officer school?" And I said, "Sure." And I took that and did well enough on that. I got to go to OCS. It's been anyway. This is a roundabout way of saying, when I look back on my life and think of some of the cool things that I've done, having kids, raising a family, now having a passel of grandkids, and stepdaughters who bring me home baked bread, over to my house. they deliver. Can you imagine?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. Let me tell you, if you did a cost spreading analysis on the amount of money I've got put into that bread, this is very expensive bread. But anyway, that's not important right now. The as I look back, I just think that the whole experience has been amazing. And as usual, when I get up in the morning, I just think how lucky, how blessed I feel to get out of bed and be alive at this time, have the things available to me that are available, the family that I have, the cool stuff to do, the set of experiences that I've had, and it's just been one of those days to reflect on all the blessings. It hasn't been it hasn't necessarily been a perfectly easy trip. Those who know my story know there's kind of a dark side to it too, but made it through that, and wound up on the sunny side up. So at any rate, those are some birthday reflections I just wanted to share with you, and it just gives me more pleasure than I can tell you to be here tonight with all of you, my friends. And,
Okay, privileged white boy, you done?
Yeah. So thank you. Thank you for being there, and thank you for hanging with me this evening. What's on your mind, Prospero?
Nothing. I was giving you shit for being a privileged white boy.
Oh, you know how it is.
Yeah, I know.
Had it all handed to me.
I grew up in Flanders.
Yeah, I grew up in Flanders. Yes. I like that.
I
You got a
did grow
picture of
up
that
near.
Connie up.
I did actually grow up about 25 miles from Flanders. Since you mentioned
All
it.
right.
You
Jen,
was in
stupid
Brabant.
question with Cranny.
grew up near Waterloo.
Yeah, I was actually in Waterloo.
In
I was
Waterloo.
about 3 miles north of the battlefield.
So
What a
you
cool
say
thing for a
in
kid.
Waterloo, like during the battle?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Practically, it was just
Okay.
a couple of years afterwards. And now the battle was what was it, 1815?
Yes.
if I got that right.
June 16th or 1815.
I don't
Yeah.
know my European wars very well.
Unfortunately, I do.
That's one I definitely should know. And
I know they happened.
Yeah.
You know the rough order in which they happened.
Yeah,
So-
the French and the
we used-
British were pissing each other off, and then the Romans would join. It was a fun time.
You know what was cool? We would take our bikes and bike down there and go look for bullets, and you could find bullets. You could find shells from that war still on the just traipsing through the fields that surround the memorial there.
Wow.
Yeah, you could find all kinds of stuff, and they were still finding pretty good sized artifacts back then. It was all farmland. It still is largely farmland, actually, around. But anyway, be that as it may, talk way too much about myself. So anyway, let me go around
It's your
the horn and
fucking
see
birthday, man.
how everybody's doing. Irate, it's been a while since you've been on. It's so nice to have you back. What have you been up to? I know you've been moving.
Well, yeah, Uzi and I finally are in the house. Miles to go before we sleep on that shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's not stressful or anything, is it?
Well, the move. Oh my god, was just insane because the owner of the moving company was this old man, and he had written it down wrong that it was like instead of the 28th, it was the 30th, and that it was just a small storage unit.
Oops.
Yeah, and they were supposed to be there at like 9 in the morning. So about 10:30, I call them, and anyway, to make a long story short, they ended up coming the next day and on time and shit, and they got us moved, but it was a hassle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's never easy.
but it's like it's bittersweet, and shit. My dad, it was in his will that Uzi and I take this thing. And we're gonna.
That was your dad's house. That's in the same town, though, right?
Yes, it's like 6 miles from where we were living.
Okay.
where we
Yeah.
were, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
So, I mean, it wasn't that big of a move, man, but still, a move's a move, and it was sucky.
Yeah, I mean,
But,
it's just packing your stuff up and moving it. It doesn't matter the distance. It's just going to be hell because I can't wait.
Hmm.
All
I
right,
hate
Jenna,
it.
how are you doing, sweetie?
The truth or the I'm great?
Well, the truth is always good, but you know.
Yeah.
Besides my knee not working, I'm great. But wait, I have to sing to you world's fastest worst birthday song. Ready?
Okay, go.
Happy birthday, Skep to happiness will come to you all year, and if I ever wish it would be happy birthday to you from me. There you go.
Hey.
Thank you.
Well done.
Somewhere in there is hidden some sort of Mormon blessing, I think.
Yes.
And
Well, I typed it out for you in DM, so you're good.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. It's nice to have you with us tonight. Setsu, what are you up to, man?
Drugs. Lots of drugs.
You're up
Good
to
lad.
drugs.
It's nourishing.
Oh yeah. Like
Yeah. Good and good
everything
for
I can find. I'm just whatever hole it can fit in. I'm just kidding.
Any
you.
particular
Be an example
reason?
for those children.
No, man. I've been chilling. I got
Yeah.
me a new PC that I've
What'd
been
you get?
oof. I'm scared to say. Just know
Okay.
that
No worries.
it's gonna take me a little while to pay it off. But Dell, for whatever reason, thought it was necessary to because I was just like, I have pretty good credit. My score is like 777. I'm like, that if that ain't a fucking good credit score, I don't know what is.
Lucky,
So-
lucky, yeah.
But you're black. You can't have a good credit score.
That's what they say. But apparently I'm not black enough. So
Oh.
All those drugs.
Yeah.
all those drugs, yeah.
Well,
But so I've been using that to crypto mine, and when I'm not mining, I'm gaming on it. So we've been doing live streams. I started streaming again,
Nice.
and my sister's helping me do some recording for some new style cooking videos that I'm going to be doing on my cooking channel.
Oh, cool.
No more of the top down kind of FPS. You don't get to see me, just my hands type of cooking. Like we're gonna do some actual video recording. I'm completely in the video, and it's a new experience, and it's not something I'm used to, but those will be coming out soon. So hopefully you guys will be
that's
interested
great.
in those.
Something.
Otherwise, my daughter is growing very, very quickly,
Mm.
and getting increasingly insane as time goes on.
Oh, bless her.
Oh yeah.
I can't
They-
believe she's 2. It's just
Yeah.
Don't worry. It only lasts till they're 18.
Oh yeah, I'm
And then it gets worse.
But you can change the locks then.
Yeah. Then you're legally allowed to lock them out of the house.
You have some legal recourse at that point.
I'm
No,
telling
that's-
you, man.
Yeah.
cheering him up, y'all. Cheering him up.
No, you know what though? Like every day is kind of a new experience, and like I said, she does do some crazy things because she's at that age now where she has a decent enough understanding of her surroundings and
Yeah.
cause and effect.
Yeah.
So I'm here with her all day, so
Yeah.
she knows what is and is not to be done. But as soon as her mom gets home, all bets are off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, mommy's
So-
here now. What you gonna do? And I'm like, ugh.
That's what happens. It's I can usually have a good day with the boys and get them to listen, and then like it's like they know when Pincalo is like on his way home, because then they start amping up and they start acting ridiculous, and then he walks in the door and they're like screaming at each other and jumping on each other and throwing toys at each other and like doing WWE style moves from the Attitude Era on each other, and it's like, why just because Dad walked in the door you're gonna be insane? Like, what
Oh,
the
yeah.
fuck?
That's all it takes, man.
Well, Blind Press, it sounds like you've been having a good day today. You sound like you're in a good mood.
I am in a good mood. I've kind of gotten a bit of a kick in the ass to start producing like more consistent content like all over my platforms, because hitting 1,000 subscribers kind of changes things.
Congrats on that, honey.
Yeah.
Thank
way to
you.
go.
And
Yes.
Yay!
I think it's funny that the 1 ton hammer was your 1,000th subscriber.
I do too.
I'm not going to let anyone forget that.
No, that was funny. That was really funny
Had he been holding back?
He just couldn't make up his mind. Is she
He
worth
thought
it or
he was
not?
already subscribed to me.
Oh
He's like,
my God,
why
that
am I not-"
jackass!
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So,
How many Star Trek streams has he been on with you on your channel and he wasn't subscribed? Oh my God.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of been like I've been, I'm gonna start. I'm thinking. Well, not thinking of. I'm gonna start doing things. Little things called coffee shorts. Where like I read an article, just go over one article in a video, like a little 5 or 10 minute thing,
Good idea.
and maybe post them on days that I don't do coffee stream, like Tuesday, Thursday, or something like that, like just to do like an extra video and start adding more of the disability news articles back into the streams and start doing some more like blind reaction videos and ranting from behind glass eyes videos and actually start producing more content besides live streaming. And I've started doing more Instagram photos again, started posting more on TikTok again, started doing like redoing like the Patreon and all the other stuff, and yeah, just really actually focusing on producing content, because it's like I think for a while I was kind of like telling myself I wasn't gonna hit that goal because I was I was kind of fulfilling my own prophecy, because due to COVID and having my oldest home to do schooling last year, my schedule was so inconsistent. I had almost convinced myself that I wasn't gonna hit 1,000, so I just kind of was very half-assedly producing stuff.
From what I can see, if you produce content on a regular basis and keep it consistent, that's what I see a lot of the successful YouTubers doing. And I know you've had a lot of distractions. Raising kids, there's no bigger distraction in the world. Raising kids is hard. Raise them blind and run a YouTube channel.
Right.
People ask me, why do I admire blind press? So many reasons, but and not only that, she does it with a sense of humor and intelligence. I can't believe she wants to hang out with me, but that there's no accounting for taste. But seriously, that's a great thing, and is one thing that will happen is the kids get a little bit more independent, and they're not just so desperately dependent on you. One of the things that will happen is when they start making their own breakfast, when they start getting their own cereal, pour their own milk, and start doing little things like that. You'll just go, God, maybe there is a light at the end of the tunnel. It's not a gorilla with a flashlight.
Dude, my daughter's only 2, and I'm just like, can't you feed yourself yet?
Dude.
Yeah.
Wait, you're still feeding her, as in putting the food on the fork and
Oh no. Like she eats on her own. I just want her to be able to go in the fridge and
acquire the
feed
food.
herself.
Yeah, exactly.
Give her Pop-Tarts, man.
Well, she's gotten to that point to where she don't like to be like, if you try to like spoon feed, unless it's something she physically can't eat, like if it's like soup or something like that, then she'll be like, all right, you may feed me, peasant. And I'm like,
yeah.
Right. but otherwise, she's all, I got this.
Oh, for sure. Oh yeah. She don't mess around.
Oh, just wait till you tell her to do something, and she goes, "No thanks." That's what my 4-year-old does. I go potty. No thanks. I didn't ask you, child. I told you. No thanks.
Put your coat on. No, thank you.
Yeah. Come eat dinner. No thanks.
That's when she gets to learn the fun life lesson called consequences.
Yep.
Yeah, it's one you get to learn again and again.
Yeah,
So
you don't want to
that's-
put your coat on. All right, let's go then.
My sister, when she was about a year and a half old, my sister, for about a week straight, just every day she would scream about getting dressed. Just scream and scream and fight and scream. So finally, my mom got sick of it and just loaded her into the car in a diaper. Like, brought her clothes with her, obviously, but was like, okay, you're going to daycare, let's go. And it was like November. And she was like, Mommy, I'm cold. And she's like, well, you should have gotten dressed.
Yeah.
Like, are you? That's interesting. I wonder how that happened.
Yeah.
It's almost like I told you to do something that would help you not be cold.
All right, exactly.
Wait till she can climb out of her car seat.
Or her
Yeah.
crib.
Yeah.
Never ever think, oh, I'm going to teach my kid to unbuckle themselves so it's a little less hassle on me. It will end your world.
Oh, I'm telling you. She'd be crip walking in the back seat. You going 60 on the freeway.
What the heck?
Oh,
The struggle is real.
Another thing,
It is struggling.
Cute.
Oh my
get
God.
get this. My 4-year-old has figured out that if he's quiet, Mommy can't find him.
Oh shit!
So
Fucking
Look-
ninja kids.
So we went to the cottage, and I thought he had gone up to collect wood with Pincolo and the oldest one. So I was just sitting on the porch. And then Pincolo comes back and he's like, where is the youngest? And I'm like, what do you mean, where is he? He went up your direction. So what the hell are you talking about? And he's like, I thought he was with you. And then we all freak out because because we're like maybe 200 feet away from a lake. So Pincolo's freaking out. He's running down to the lake to look for him.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, from inside our van, I just hear giggling.
I would have
The little
killed him.
shit, the little shit was sitting in Pincolo's seat the whole fucking time. Just like me and Pincolo, the oldest one, were running around screaming his name, and he's just sitting in the van, just. La, la, la. Oh my
Kids,
God,
man.
child! What the
His
fuck?
new name would be Dante because he's going to the seventh realm of hell.
Right?
Like, well, we tried.
How many kids do you have, BP?
2.
So you could put Axe body spray on one and Vicks Vapor Rub on the other. So no matter what they do, you can always track them down.
Ever since that happened, we
Hey.
make the youngest one wear a bear bell because he just doesn't get, like, he'll run. The oldest one is the other extreme. It's go brush your teeth. I don't want to be upstairs alone. Oh my God, just go brush your goddamn teeth. But I don't want to be upstairs all alone. The 4-year-old, on the other hand, is like, bye.
Like, I smell an adventure.
Yep, pretty
Yeah.
much.
You're in bear country, right? When at the cabin.
Yeah, more like coyote country, but there have been known to be.
Well, 7 Days to Die has
Little
taught me that
Dante.
coyotes are assholes.
Coyotes
they
are
are.
assholes.
Yes, they are. Little Dante is right at COVID eaten side, not COVID. Coyote eaten
Eaten
size.
size, yeah.
Yeesh.
Oh, like, we were on the trails the other day, and there are actually signs that say, this is a prime spot for coyotes. And the 4-year-old just starts going, coyotes, come out and play.
Oh my God.
We're
I
like,
love
"Would
Dante."
you stop?
Goodness.
You crazy child.
Well, anyway, continuing my trip around the horn here, I want to talk with Harry. Harry, what's new, man?
You really don't want to know. It's been one of those IT days that
Yeah.
it's just that so much stuff has become easy to orchestrate that it becomes really, really, really complicated. All the pieces you put together.
Yep.
And stuff that should work just sort of doesn't. This has been one of these days where, it doesn't work. Put a new OS on the server, run the test stuff again. Yeah, it didn't work. I've installed 3 different systems from scratch today and tried 4 different pieces of software, and not a damn thing I've done all day has worked. It's been one of those days.
Yeah.
I really wish I wasn't on a pause from alcohol right now.
Or are you doing sober October?
No, I'm just doing just be sober for a while, and then
Ah.
someday I'll go back and drink wine or something. I'm starting to really miss wine. And beer.
Yeah, those were
Yeah.
weird.
Oh,
What happened to
So-
your wine and your beer?
I just decided to not drink it for a while. I want to make sure that it knows who's boss.
That's important.
That's always a good
There's
test.
there's a dog and there's a tail, and you gotta know which one's the dog and which one's the tail.
Well, okay, here's the real reason. I was sitting here thinking that everything sucked during COVID. And I thought to myself, is there one simple thing I can do that'll make my life better? And I thought, why don't you just give up alcohol? Your body doesn't need to process all that crap. Just take a little break. You don't have to give it up forever. Just don't do it right now. And so that's what I'm doing.
That's it sounds very simplistic, but you'd be surprised how difficult that is for people.
Yeah, just get a little bit of control back in your life.
Yeah,
right?
I'm just gonna stop doing this thing.
Yeah. It's it can be harder or easier than it looks. It just depends on your personality and
Case in point, hey monkey, stop smoking
Yeah.
for a while.
I did. I put that out just a second ago.
No, I mean like for more than
More
2
than a
hours.
day.
Like
I do
smoking
that
and
sometimes when I
alcohol.
sleep.
Well, smoking and alcohol are also social, right?
Hold on,
you
hold on,
go and
wait a
you-
minute.
You do stuff
What?
socially with people.
no, wait, I
Sam-
call
Samuel
bullshit.
Clemens said that quitting smoking was easy. He's done it 100 times.
No, look, monkey, we know you don't sleep more than 2 hours, so stop.
But I'm often in bed for 8. I don't smoke in bed because if I do fall asleep, I don't want to burn my ass up. I don't need that problem.
Yeah, you don't. I don't want to be that statistic.
There's a song about that.
There is.
Yeah, it's called "Don't Smoke in Bed."
Oh, yeah. How,
Check out
what an
later.
original.
I can't
title.
remember if
Don't
it's in the
Smoke in
American
Bed.
Songbook or it's a standard. It's a jazz
Of
thing.
course.
Okay,
Now
Yeah, there you
everyone feel
go.
bad for
One to
Baby
learn,
Monkey.
one to grow on.
there you go.
Anyway, my day was boring as hell. The less said about it, the better. Thank you, Skep.
So what do you think about the Facebook situation? That was a fine little pickle they got themselves into.
Well, I know a number of really talented people who were turned down by Facebook for reasons I could not understand. So I figure it's on them.
What did Facebook do?
I think it's a Trojan horse.
When you say turned down, you mean turned down to work on their stuff?
Yeah, their hiring process is weird. I mean, I can sort of understand the way Google hires people. I don't really fathom the way that Facebook kind of works as a culture in terms of who they hire. Because there's people that handle this crap, and they're called site reliability engineers. And they, even at Google, they're like the odd group out. All the other groups kind of work in a very Google sort of way. But when you want to keep the lights on,
Yes.
you hire somebody who has a very different kind of mindset. They're actually kind of the loners. They're off all by themselves. And they're the people that make sure that Google doesn't just implode. Now, whoever was running the little cabal at Facebook fucked up. There's really nothing more you can say about it.
Yeah, it sounds like they were loading a change, and it knocked down their DNS.
Yeah. Release management is a thing.
Yeah,
There's reasons why you test stuff. Traditionally from Skep's world, you would say, okay, here's the specifications. You basically come up with a plan and then you deliver it. And that delivery might be 6 months, might be 2 years.
right.
You don't know, but it's done when it's done. Now the whole thing is we have to have constant change every month. So at the end of every month or whatever that 30-day period is, you roll out new stuff. And that kind of pressure to get all the things you want in within a 30-day window makes everything happen. All change happens really dynamically.
Oh, yeah.
So
there are incentives, milestones, and stuff.
Right. The
Oh,
possibility that something will not be tested adequately is really high. And here we are.
and it's suddenly you can't get in the building anymore.
Well, as happens with
Kids are
these
so
things,
integrated.
there will be an article in Ars Technica before too long that explains all of what happened.
Yeah,
It'll probably be a fine Saturday topic.
Yeah, I was going to say that would be one of these days we
Cree-
really have to do that tech stream together.
Yeah.
Cree lost his mind when I said they couldn't get in the building because they were locked out. He said, "Are they running their security through their routers?"
Yes.
He said, "If they're running their
Oh.
security through their routers," he said, "that means somebody can hack Facebook and shut the whole fucking place down." He said, "Are they nuts?"
They're probably running something like Symmetry.
Yeah.
Or, one of the bigger packages.
But
Nobody really rolls your own on this stuff, but
it's
they
dirt.
might because they have all this weird social engineering BS going on. For all we know, they're tied into their LDAP database for purchasing. I don't know. I
But
mean,
why
they
don't
could have done
just pay-
anything.
Why don't they just pay a security company?
No,
for
that's
the
what you usually
security on the
do.
building instead of having it tied into your computer systems so desperately that your employees can't get in.
It is a question, isn't it? One reason might be because they did something dumb because of COVID.
Yeah, they could have.
Because there's all this weird accounting that they're doing to keep track of who's coming and going.
or
Because
is
it's
all
California.
Oh, the contact tracing stuff.
or is
Yep.
all the happy people who thought that maybe they were just making sure that data chain that I don't know, some people in the federal government might be interested in went boof yesterday.
Yeah, all these weird things about tying people's badges to various systems. The best use of this that I ever heard of, it was at IDEO, which is a big design firm in Palo Alto that's made a bunch of shit that you probably have used, but just you don't know the name. These are the guys behind a lot of this stuff. And they came up with a system to have people stop wasting time on meetings. You'd go into a meeting room, you'd take your badge and put it near the badge reader, and in the center of the table there was a little counter. And what it did was it went into the database of all the employees, figured out how much you get paid per hour, and had a running total for everybody in the room of how much money was being spent on that meeting. Genius.
It is a genius.
Yeah.
Yep.
So sometimes tying your badge readers into your other computer systems is not the worst idea, but the doors should just sort of open. When things break, it's supposed to default to just letting people in.
Well,
Right. You'd hope.
are we sure it's not Joe and Putin's fault for Joe giving Putin the list of things not to hack?
I'm not sure of anything yet.
He's a 90-year-old man.
Yeah, at least we have a president with a steady hand at the helm. Monkey, what are you thinking about Joe Biden making it to the 2-year mark? I've been wanting to answer.
Oh, man. I don't know. I think that the more we see him, the more they try to hide him. And it's obviously getting worse. I think they want that 2-year mark because it gives Kamala the chance for the 10.
Yeah,
But I don't know that they can do it.
I don't know that they can get her elected.
10 years of
She can't
Kamala
do it.
Harris. Let that sink in for a minute.
Yeah, I'm not sure they can even get her elected the
Oh.
first time.
I don't think they could get her elected, but it does set up the possibility for the 10 years.
It does, and it makes certain people kingmakers.
I wanted to offer this scenario up to you. I actually thought about this during my afternoon workout. I was doing two days recently, and during my oxygen-starved moment, I thought, we may have a situation where Kamala Harris runs in the election against Donald Trump. Both parties trying to commit suicide at the same time. Who gets to the gun first?
Yeah.
Well, in that scenario, because we've talked about that one over on my show, I think Trump wins that, but it's very much the way Trump won because he was running against Hillary. He would be running against Hillary 2.0, except for she's far more unlikable than Hillary was.
Mm-hmm.
And that's hard
Yep.
to do.
It really is.
But because what you're thinking is that in that scenario, Trump takes New Mexico, Colorado, Arizona, and Wisconsin. Those are some pretty key states. You think that he takes those from Kamala Harris? I think he does too. maybe not New Mexico. I think it's a really, I think it's a close election. She could win.
I don't know.
Might have something to do with who he picks as his running mate, too.
His running mate could matter. His polls right now are going up. They're better than they were when he was president at this point.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It is. And they're hiding Kamala. They started doing this right after the Afghanistan thing because every time she opened her damn mouth, her numbers tanked.
Yeah.
And they
You
were
can't run a candidate like
they
that.
weren't good to begin with.
They weren't. No. She has horrible numbers with black people, people just in general. The one place where you'd think she's going to have it, a lock, well, she's a woman of color. She's not going to get that vote because there's a lot of people still pissed off that she locked up their family for no fucking reason and tried to leave them there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hard thing to overcome. And I think she could win. I don't think she could win against Trump.
Mm-mm.
She could win against Jeb Bush.
Oh, anybody can win against Jeb Bush. A potted bomb can win against Jeb Bush.
I disagree. I don't think Jeb Bush could beat Jeb Bush.
You might be right. Please clap.
Do you think that Trump will actually run in 2024?
No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
I hope he doesn't, but I think he will.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't, but I think I'm with Mikey on that. He is absolutely committed to it psychologically right now. And the thing about Trump is he's mercurial. He can turn on a dime, and if he decides I'm not going to run, that's it. That's the end of the ball game, and he'll go do something else, But I think this has stuck in his craw so badly. His ego will not let him move away from this, no matter how bad it is for the Republican Party. But the very interesting thing: who is Trump's running mate, or who would be a better Republican candidate than Trump?
Oh, DeSantis would be a better candidate.
Better candidate, yeah, much better candidate.
DeSantis is a winner.
Yeah.
How old would Trump be if he ran in 2024?
72?
No, he's
already in his 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be close to 80.
Is he
That's-
that much into his 70s?
I think it's like
thought
79, but
Wow, I thought he
real
was
quick.
early 70s. Holy shit.
I'll tell
He
you real
needs to
quick.
not run at
No, he's
79 years
75.
old.
He turned 75 this year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a lot more vigorous looking than your average 75-year-old Joe Biden type.
If you
Yeah, he's a little more dialed in than old Joe.
Are they the same age?
Roughly.
No, Joe's older.
Is he?
Joe's older, but not by a lot.
It's about
I
like
think
3 years,
Okay.
3 or 4.
we've already had Biden. We don't need Biden 2.0 that has no self-control when he does. Well, I trust him more than Biden, but we don't need another elderly man.
We don't. Politicians need to
Or woman.
understand that they need to elect younger people. Just on either side of the aisle. It doesn't matter whether you're Republican or Democrat.
I disagree.
Well,
You
the
need-
problem with
and-
that is they're harder to control, and
But
that's
I don't.
that's
But I don't mean like young, like AOC young, right? I mean like more experience.
40 instead of 70, you know?
50s, like more experienced, but still old enough not to like old enough to have lived a bit. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Not old enough that you are, looking over your shoulder to see if death is approaching you, but old enough that you aren't, you don't have your head in the clouds full of, because when we were in our 20s and like we all had dumbass ideas, right?
I didn't.
still got dumbass ideas.
You didn't says I didn't says Monkey. But most people had really, really stupid ideas. And so we need politicians that are, I guess I want to say seasoned. They're not.
Somebody like Rashida Tlaib, for example, she's 45. She's Detroit native, and she's certainly moderate.
Moderate fecal matter.
You're right.
I was going to say not old enough to live in a 55 and older community, but not young enough that when they tick the box, there's still a 30 something in it.
Yeah, like the
Well,
the
you're
one
really
cons-
narrowing the window there down to about 14 years.
14. Yeah, the one
Sounds good to me.
the politician that I really like, the Canadian politician that I really like, the member for Carleton, Pierre Poilievre. He's only 42.
Mhm.
You have to
and,
be.
and he's got a good head on his shoulders. He's not, super duper right wing crazy religious nutbag, but he's also not super duper crazy left wing. I would say he's probably center right, more like
What position on what issue do you like best about him?
the fact that he admits that he says, Canada is a great country because of the fact that we do have social programs in place to help the people that we need. Let's bolster those programs and make the ones that we have better instead of scrapping everything and making us into a socialist, communist bastion of money printing.
So he's more moderate. He's kind of a social democrat type of person, as opposed to a communist socialist.
Yeah, he's very. I would say he's still on the conservative side of the social democrat, though, because he's still very much for in-country business and trade.
Yeah.
He's very much for why are we buying other people's oil when we have our own? Why are we buying other people's lumber when we have millions of kilometers of forest? Why are we not growing or keeping more of our produced or our agriculturally produced food for ourselves right now?
The problem is if you buy your own oil, your price for oil will go up.
Yeah, that's
The reason that
only
you buy
problem.
other people's oil is because that's the economically rational thing to do.
Yeah.
There's good reasons for all that stuff. But I hear what you're saying.
Yeah,
The-
DeSantis, interestingly enough, is only 43.
I'm not
You think
opposed to having younger people in there. I just hate the idea of some kind of age limit. Because
Yeah.
not all people. Donald Trump is not even close to the same as Joe Biden is in mental ability and physical ability.
No, he
They're-
could run circles around him.
You have to
Literally.
judge it based on the person and not the age. I just hate the age argument. I always have.
It's like term limits. The
Yes.
the voting booth is the term limit. I mean, if you want to get angry with people about the people that are sitting in Congress, get angry at your fellow voters because they're the ones that keep sending them there.
Yep.
I mean, if you're sick of them, you have the option to change, and you have the option to encourage your neighbor to consider another candidate, for Christ's sake.
Well, that's why I got so frustrated with Canada's election, because it was such a waste of time for only a 3-seat gain
Yep.
for the Liberals, and I'm sitting there going, how can so many Canadians look at not just what Trudeau is doing, but what all of the Liberal Party stands for right now? Because the only people that elect Trudeau are the people that are in Trudeau's riding.
Perception.
That whole you voted for Trudeau thing, telling everybody, oh, you voted for Trudeau. No, technically, only the people in Papineau, Quebec voted for Trudeau. But the shitty part is that the people, I just can't fathom that people could look at what's been going on inside the Liberal Party and go, yeah, let's have more of that, please.
Well,
just real quick, just to answer something that's going on in chat. Despite having the world's third largest oil reserves, Canada imports oil from foreign suppliers. It does import quite a bit of its oil. In
Yes.
fact, currently, more than half the oil used in Quebec and Atlantic Canada is imported from foreign sources, and those include the United States, Saudi Arabia, Russia, the United Kingdom, Azerbaijan, Nigeria, and the Cote d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast as well. In 2019, for example, that's the latest I can find data for. Canada spent $18.9 billion to import foreign oil, and it actually gets a very significant amount of the oil that it consumes as imported oil. So it's not simply a thing of sending it out, having it refined, and buying it back as gasoline. It actually that's actually oil and oil products that they're buying from other places. Some are finished products. Some they refine themselves.
To get to
Sorry.
BP, no, but to bring it around to BP's question, perception is reality with a lot of people. And one
Democrats.
thing, yeah, and the liberals in Canada, the perception that they care.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Trudeau, if he is an actor, and
a very bad one.
well, he's a bad one, but people who act solely on their perceptions don't really need Oscar performances.
That's true.
He cares. They care. See, we care, and that's they repeat and repeat that shit.
They do,
and people lap it up because they're constantly they go around to all the different collectives that they consider to be their pets, just like the Democrats do in this country, and they tell them how much they care about their issues.
Yeah, and
then they fuck back off to Ottawa or DC. And they don't give another thought to any of those people.
Right.
You know,
until it's election time again.
Until it's election. And then they're out there telling them how much they care again.
Yeah.
How deeply they understand.
You're absolutely right.
The whole election, Trudeau was, we had your back in the pandemic. We had your back. We had your back. We had your back.
That's
and then, then fucking, what is it? A week and a half after the election, the very first pandering holiday, because he created a day called National Truth and Reconciliation Day.
Oh, there's nothing commie about that.
Now get this.
None at all.
This is for the a day to apparently honor Indigenous people and all the crap with the residential schools and all that. Mm-hmm. So for his first Reconciliation Day, he went surfing.
Where?
In BC.
Oh,
at
yeah.
Tofino.
Oh, yeah, and that's that's a totally, like, he co-opted that from Hawaiians who are like Indigenous people.
Oh, and get this though. So that holiday was only for federal employees. So it was another, because for me, this whole land acknowledgement crap that they do feels to me, if I were an Indigenous person and I heard, we acknowledge that we are standing upon the land that was once belonging to whatever band name happened to be in the area, I'd be like, fuck you, give it back or shut up.
Well, the other thing is, it is pandering to this. My favorite group of people, when they love to get up on their high horse about their land, are the Lakota.
Mm-hmm.
They're worth the laugh with this shit, because they will go on and on and on about how all the land around Rushmore is theirs. They fucking wiped people off the face of the earth to conquer that land.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
they slaughtered their way to the
Cheyenne they were the Cheyenne of the North.
Like
and I mean it's kind of like the Paiute and the Ute. And it's an age-old story, and it is not just among Indigenous peoples. No. It's among all. It's ever since we crawled out of a fucking cave.
It's humans. Humans are fucking violent
and we
nasty people.
And after we stopped killing everybody, we came up with this notion that we could take slaves.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got over that. And it took us centuries to get over that. So come off it. This we were here first. You know, they find a fossilized footprint that's 23,000 years old. So now it's the oldest thing with the thing with the thing. And
the oldest oppressed footprint.
Yeah, no
Right?
shit. And
Well,
it's
here's the thing. We have a situation where a group of people in history were oppressed, and so people who claim descent from those people say that they are owed something for the oppression of those people back in the day, and that's an interesting question. It's on what basis do you accord them some recompense for?
you don't.
Well, did that affect them directly?
I don't know whether it
First
did
of
or
all, are they really aggrieved in the first place? And the second thing is, if they are aggrieved, is the grievance against you to the extent where an award should be made from you to them? That's essentially what liberals and the Democratic Party just take for granted.
Well, they've taken on the guilt of the entire world. They're the strongest believers in original sin, and the original sin is that man exists at all.
Yeah.
But all those people over there, that collective that they're kissing the ass of and they're trying to court, well, see, those were peoples that were completely separate from all the other peoples, apparently.
But where I'm trying to get to is a point that you made talking with me informally earlier today, and that is that now you can't even discuss those items that I've just brought up. If you brought up the items that the concepts that I just brought up in casual conversation, and you're a student at, say, Yale University, you'd be thrown out.
Oh yeah.
You'll be expelled just for that, and that's this.
Well, the
this
social
fascistic.
the social sciences are dead as a result.
Wait, real quick.
Yeah. Sure.
Satsu's leaving. I just want to say bye to him.
Oh yeah,
honey.
Satsu.
Bye, Satsu.
Yeah, I put it in a private chat because I couldn't find a nice place to jump in. But my wife is like, "Hey,
You just
you
got
want
to
to not be down there and come up here?"
No, that's definitely a better offer than anything.
Go make another baby,
Yeah.
dude.
Listen.
Oh, that
thank
ain't
you so-
happening.
thank
Oh,
you
she
so
needs
much
a
for
sister,
coming
brother, or
on.
sister.
But let's give Satsu a chance to shill and tell us what you got going on.
Well, like I said, mainly my focus has been on my cooking channel and Twitch streams that usually happen at like 9 p.m. over on or 9:30, typically over on Twitch. Otherwise, there's not a crazy amount really going on. I'm just kind of trying to get my situation together and get through culinary school,
Damn it,
which is
Setsu.
going well, by the way.
Yeah, baby, you've been killing it.
What's up, Monk?
You are the worst shill ever.
No
What?
kidding.
You are the
Fam
worst
2
shill
cents.
ever. That is
Fam
Fam 2 cents for his
2 cents.
cooking channel over here on the YouTubes, and it is twitch.tv/2 cents plus over on Twitch. There you go, sir.
There you go.
Go ahead. Finish what you were saying.
Probably
Don't-
showed.
Don't be
No,
like
I was
one
just
time
saying
man,
that-
Love you, bud.
sign up for him.
Culinary school is going great, by the way. That's as a matter of fact, I got a bunch of pictures because this week was like egg week, so I had to cook eggs in almost every conceivable way you can think of,
Wow.
which was
Excellent.
which was fun. I made a quiche for the first time in my life, which was
Oh my gosh, you just went gay.
look, it was amazing.
It is amazing.
It was fucking, I was like,
It
how
was
is this
fabulous.
so good? It was,
Yeah.
Yes, it was fabulous.
I
Wow.
already noticed the effect the culinary school was having on the photographs of your HelloFresh meals.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Your plating, all of a sudden your plating went from family style plating, which that's what we're all really accustomed
course.
to I was like, well, look what he is doing there.
Mhm.
You know,
I
you were getting all restaurant prissy, and it was nice to see. But you know, just to see that you're
developing the skill.
you're developing that thing for when you have your food truck, and you hand somebody something, and it's just got that little bit of flair
and it looks like it looks on the menu. That's like
Yeah, yeah.
With the
Yeah.
new filming, are you still gonna do HelloFresh first?
Well, I've kind of stopped HelloFresh because I found out that every plate is basically HelloFresh, but not as expensive. Like they're essentially
Yep.
the same. The only difference is mainly they don't like bag and separate your shit for you. You just kind of get a bunch of shit and you kind of have to separate it yourself. But I'm like, for half the fucking price, that's not really
That's a deal.
asking for
Well,
much.
No,
all
no.
I care about is the. This is what it looks like, and this is what you have to cook it like.
Oh
So
yeah, and
it could
that's what I
be-
usually be going for. But like I said, my videos now they're becoming more vlog style. So the results will probably still be the same. You'll still see those nice thumbnails, but there'll be more of Satsu in my videos now.
Good.
You guys will be
It's a
seeing
good
me.
thing.
Yeah. So, but okay, she giving me the eye now. All right.
All
okay.
right. Hey,
That's
Squishy.
nothing but goodness. Thanks for
You
coming
gotta go.
by, and
Don't
you
get in
made
trouble.
you
Tell
made
her I said
birthday
hey, bro.
really
Bye,
special.
Satsu.
Bye.
Tell her hi
Good to
from
see you,
all
brother.
of us.
Yeah.
Take care, bro.
Pray for my penis.
We always
Penis
do.
prayer. Sad.
Just
Good
for
luck.
that, he's gonna end up
Spit on it.
impregnating.
Oh my God. Good God.
Spit on it.
Okay,
Leave
Harry.
it in.
Yeah, I hope
Sit and
Harry
spin.
was making notes because he might have penis news for his Saturday
Pull
show.
out.
Really quick, I should probably go too because my kids,
Yeah.
they're gonna wake up and go, Mommy.
They're starting to peel the duct tape off with their teeth, and it's a problem. Yeah, I know.
I should be there Saturday, Miss BP.
Awesome. Oh, this
Yay.
coming Saturday, I'm gonna be. It's Thanksgiving for us, so we're gonna be skipping this Saturday. But the Saturday
wow.
after, we're gonna be back.
Have we got a topic yet?
Not yet. I still have to come up with.
I
one.
have some ideas.
Oh,
so I
good.
will DM them to you.
IP's quickly checking Alabama's schedule.
Also, coffee stream tomorrow, Canadian Wednesday, with Dr. Functional, so you won't want
Beauty,
to
eh?
miss that.
How's he been?
He's been good. He's been good. And don't forget to come by Twitch tomorrow night for Beat the Blind Girl. That's at 11 p.m. Eastern. And also, please buy a mug. Teespring.com/myeyes.
You can get a mug with Blind Press's eyes on it.
Yes.
It's perfect
Did
for a
the
spoopy
blind
month.
girl just
Yeah.
say slash my eyes?
/ my eyes. Yes.
Teespring.com/myeyes.
Slash
yes.
my eyes.
Blind press.
All right. I was just making
Instead
sure
of
I heard it
coffee
right.
shorts, how about coffee shots?
Ooh.
There you go.
Coffee
I almost forgot that.
shots. I like
Coffee
that,
shots.
Harry.
That's
BP,
excellent.
I
Harry.
think you should explain to Monkey how you know when you're done wiping, like
Oh,
that idiot
Jesus
asked.
Christ.
Oh no.
Oh,
Oh,
Damn it.
snap.
We are not going down that
Hey.
road.
Jenna.
Somebody
Bad
asked
Jenna.
her that.
Fucking
I know.
TikTok.
I understand.
Give it your seal of
It's
approval.
it's
That
famously
fucking
asked of
purple
blind
haired
people.
bitch.
all the
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Stupid bitch, whatever her name.
All
What's her name?
Third kid, Old Spice.
I can't remember her name. That's a good thing.
All right, Blind Press. Well,
All right,
thank you so
guys.
much for coming by. You made the birthday
Later,
very
fam.
special, and I
Happy
sure appreciate it.
Thanksgiving.
Thank you, and happy birthday again, Skep. I hope you had a great day, and
It's
have a
been a
great
wonderful
rest
day.
of the stream, guys.
Couldn't be better.
Take
to you
care.
later, hon.
Hey, BP.
Good
Good
night,
night, sweetie.
everyone.
Night, hon.
Enjoy
Bye.
Dante.
See ya.
And then we were 6.
I love that you're calling the youngest Dante because he's going to one of the seventh. He's going to the seventh circle.
Yeah.
He's,
Dante
he's,
only visited though.
he's earned it though. Can you imagine that little shit just sitting in the van? Everybody's panicking.
Yes. 'Cause kids are evil.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, we all.
believe me.
Yeah, we were. We
Mm.
still are to some extent.
Yes.
Luckily, kids haven't learned that you can hear when they giggle.
Yeah, some of them don't know that sound travels. That's the good.
They
part.
will.
They'll figure that
They'll
out.
learn
though.
that. They'll learn that, and that the tricks they play will get more pernicious.
I love the age where they'll cover their eyes and because they can't see you,
Yeah.
you can't
Yeah.
see them.
Yeah,
like-
my mom had a daughter who was deaf, and that's what she'd do when her mom was fussing at her, because she read lips, and she just shut her eyes.
You have a sister?
No, my mom had a friend whose daughter.
You skipped the friend part when you said it first.
Yeah.
I said it very
You said
quickly.
my mom had a daughter.
My mom- My mom's friend had a daughter who was
I
deaf.
forgot the front part.
Sure. Okay. I'm sure I did. Just put me in the home now.
I'm going to lead the way.
We
to
should,
that.
but not over that.
No, not over that.
Kiss my ass.
But getting back to where I was kind of taking the conversation, because the Prospero sent me a kind of a pointer.
Did you just mute yourself, Skep?
Skep, where'd you go?
Skep.
Skep,
What kind of pointer did you give him?
you muted yourself.
You're muted.
Am I here?
Unmuted.
Yes,
There
you're
you
here.
All
There
right.
you go.
Yeah,
There
sorry
you
about
are.
that.
There you go.
The dog jumped up on the microphone and moved the connector, sorry, so that it still disconnects me from the stream. Anyway, what I wanted to get to was the police raiding the
FBI.
or the FBI raiding the police union in New York. Do you want to talk about that a little bit? Because I think this is interesting. This is the government using real fascist style, real brown shirt tactics, and it's all politically motivated.
Yeah, it's the police union of New York, and they endorsed Trump, which of course they didn't normally endorse candidates, but they were so disgusted by the defund the police stuff. What they raided was the Sergeants Benevolent Association.
Yeah.
And they also raided the home of the chief of the union and spent a lot of time in his home. He has been extremely critical of de Blasio. He had they kind of managed to post that picture of de Blasio's daughter when she got arrested. So it sounds a bit to me like political motivation, because I also know that there's a Congressman, TUES, who's butt hurt over this dude calling him a high-class whore.
Mm-hmm.
Union President Edward Mullins. Yeah. I wouldn't have gone so far as to call him a high-class whore. I'd have called him a two-penny whore.
My point in all
Congressman,
this,
for crap's sakes,
is they sent the FBI after these guys.
Yeah.
That's chilling to me.
It's the southern.
Oh, what about the families?
It's the Southern District of New York too.
Yeah.
And they are politically motivated out the ass.
Yeah.
As we know, because they've been the ones leading the witch hunt on everybody that has ever spoken to Donald Trump in their entire fucking life. I mean, the stuff they have done.
That office has been that way for decades. Yeah, they're shit.
They're the ones that handled Epstein, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were the ones that handled Epstein. And I mean, they are, I guess, as you would say in the old days of the mob running everything, they're made men. It's kind of obvious that they're just party stooges. But this is
but sending the FBI
political weaponization of
Jesus
the FBI
Christ.
is very, because coming on the heels, it is. And coming on the heels of this nonsense about parents objecting at school board meetings.
Merrick Garland. Yeah, Merrick Garland wants to monitor your conversations to make sure you're not.
Yeah, all because of all purportedly because of the terrible things that were said to the people in Waukesha. Yeah. And number one, put on your big boy pants. Trolls are a thing.
Yeah.
Number two, a lot of people get crank phone calls and shit about, I'm going to come to your house and I'm going to, that happens if you are a public official. And this notion that it is, I mean, hell, I wouldn't put them past hoaxing this stuff to give them a reason to do it.
Me either.
Because look at the number of hate crime hoaxes that we had when Trump was president.
Oh my God, yeah.
And they still.
How many of those were, false flag, basically?
Well, yeah, and I mean, then you've got this fucketry with the the three stooges in Michigan that were going to kidnap the governor, but they only got that idea from the 5 feds that were with them.
Mhm.
You know, it's just nonsense. What they wanted to go to the Capitol and act an ass is basically what they had intended to do. And the next thing you know, it's a plot to kidnap Twitmer. And it's just, the feds are in it up to their armpits. We have that stupid Fed getting arrested at that last rally in DC. And it's like, my badge is in my front pocket. And it's like, oh, come on. You're just, it's almost like they're really upset that video, the extra video that was released from January, that showed most people just kind of milling around and leaving when the greatest coup to have ever occurred in the most danger to America since the fucking Civil War occurred. You know, they've got to distract from that. So let's talk about parents, you know, or concerned citizens, taxpayers, about CRT and things like that. And then you add it to Terry fucking McAuliffe saying that parents don't have any business telling the schools how to run their stuff.
And then my kid doesn't have any business going to that school. Thanks.
Yeah. I mean, it's Glenn Youngkin's crowd said that they were just, well, number one, when he called on Bill Kristol as having endorsed him as being some great thing. Youngkin's crowd had tweeted out that they had a good laugh at that. But I mean, he flat out said that parents don't have any business telling the school districts what to do. And it's like, well, good luck paying your teachers if they just all stop paying their taxes. You jackasses. But it's like they're not even keeping the what used to be the quiet shit. They're not even keeping that quiet anymore. They're saying it out loud.
Oh, yeah.
Harassing Kristen Cinema, chasing her in the bathroom. Oh, that's just part of the process.
Filming her in the bathroom?
Just part of the process.
Or
That's democracy in action, according to
They followed her into the bathroom. She had to shut the door of the stall in their face. And they sat there outside the stall.
Yeah.
yeah,
You know.
with other people in the bathroom too,
Yes.
using it.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Which
They
is
don't-
actually a pretty significant violation of Arizona law.
I was going to ask, why weren't they arrested?
Yeah, it's against the law, but they're woke, so they kind of get a pass.
Yeah, it's just one
Well,
thing
and-
after another out of this crowd.
Well,
That
I
comes
know
on the
this-
heels, real quick. That comes on the heels. Don't forget, we just had this thing where the Capitol Police are expanding because all of these Congress people are getting harassed, and it's getting very dangerous out there. But when it comes to cinema, it was fine.
Right. Well, that was okay.
Biden said it himself.
Yeah, it's part of the process, and I'm sure it was part of the process when Rand Paul got harassed.
right.
And it was totally part of the process when some asshole shot up a softball game.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
exactly.
just-
That can you imagine the feedback that the brouhaha that would occur if somebody from the Daily Wire followed Maxine Waters into a restroom and was haranguing her through the stall door. Can
The
you
FBI would
imagine?
the FBI would raid the Daily Wire and shut them down.
Yeah,
Oh, yes,
There'd be
absolutely.
cocaine planted all over that building.
They'd be in Gitmo right now.
This is what I'm really concerned about.
The
that-
monopoly
that
on violence is belongs to the government, and the government
right.
belongs to the Democrat
the
Party,
government gun is a thing.
and they are using it.
Yeah.
I'd
And
like to.
they're they're like, well, we're gonna sick the. I mean, you see this on Twitter all the time from the Blue Anon crowd about what they're going to use the National Guard for, and it's like, oh, good God!
This is Obama's third term. Yeah.
Of course it is.
Didn't aren't the National Guards now nurses and doctors in New York?
Yeah, they're going to be impressed. Those who have medical training are going to be impressed into medical
Yeah.
service.
Obama's third term without the hot wife.
Well, it's Susan Rice's third term.
I'd just like to appreciate Harry's name. Let's go, Brandon. Because that was funny as hell.
Oh my
Let's
God.
go, Brand.
That was possibly the silliest thing I've ever seen. And the weird thing
She
is
was so quick with it.
well, I think she got it from the booth. They were afraid the FCC
Oh,
was going to
yes.
ding them. They were afraid the FCC was going to ding them because it was too clear what was being yelled. And you're not supposed to say the fuck word on the TVs.
But her saying her uttering that lie didn't change the situation vis-a-vis the pretending it was something else doesn't change the legal situation as to how that gets evaluated for whether or not you get fined.
Uh-huh.
I think that she was trying to force that narrative because you can hear her giggle right before she started.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
I have to give credit to Brandon for not busting out laughing and going, seriously, we're going with this one. You know,
I don't think he noticed, to be honest.
He might not have.
He was in the thrill of victory.
Well, the amazing thing is, if you know anything about racing, trying to sell the idea that a bunch of guys would be chanting, "Let's go, Brandon," at Talladega.
It's not a NASCAR thing.
This isn't California. This isn't Watkins Glen. This isn't some place where wine is served at the racetrack. This is Talladega. This is the byword for rednecks who love racing.
It's the cradle of racing. Right?
Oh my God, it is tits and schlitz in that infield. I mean, that place is insane.
Yeah.
And nobody's going to be chanting anything that bundle of Stixie at a NASCAR event. It's just,
yeah.
It
In
was
Prospero, I've heard "Let's go, Brandon" at football games, baseball games. Brandon is so popular.
He is very, very popular.
Either that or they want him to go.
They were chanting his name at a couple of college football games, and they were chanting his name at the Jets game. This is it's like the greatest meme ever because it was such unforced error on NBC's part. It's just, I don't think the Fox guys could have carried that off. I just think it would have been like, I am not saying that.
Well, she should have ignored it.
The next order of troll will be when people unironically actually chant "Let's go, Brandon" at a Joe Biden rally in front of Joe Biden. And you hear this, "Let's go, Brandon." Joe, who's Brandon? What are they talking about?
I love Brandon.
Yeah.
Brandon was a good soul. He would rub my legs up and down.
Hair gets all erect.
Brandon taught me all about roaches.
Brandon was a bad dude.
No, that's Pop. Corn Pop.
Corn Pop was a bad dude. Brandon was a good dude. Let's go, Brandon.
Brandon has a white person's name.
It would be great if you could troll him into saying, "Let's go, Brandon."
That would be fabulous.
I hope somebody does that. But what rallies?
I know. I was like, who's going to go to this rally to troll him?
It's more likely to hear "Let's go, Brandon" break out as a cheer at a Trump rally. Just,
people are getting really dissatisfied and really ready to put up a lot of personal capital in protesting what's going on in our country right now. It's not just this guy, Lieutenant Colonel Scheller, who basically scotched his whole career, gave up his 17/20ths of the way to an eternal pension. And he gave that up to make a point. And I saw where a bunch of other officers are doing the same thing. There was a Space Force colonel or major or lieutenant colonel something who came out and just said, "Hey, there's Marxism creeping into the Space Force." and that there are at least 4 mid-level officers have publicly revolted against the military leaders, and it really is a thing. Lieutenant Colonel Matthew Lohmeyer, that was the guy. The military's diversity and anti-extremism training are rooted in Marxism, and that is unacceptable to him. There's an Army lieutenant colonel who tried to resign just short of retirement because he believes that requiring troops to be vaccinated for that disease is an unlawful, unethical, and immoral and tyrannical order. And there's a Navy commander who's gone on Fox News to tell people that he thinks that there's a lot of dishonesty behind a certain vaccine against a certain disease. These guys, their careers are instantly over. As an officer, if you do something like that, you're done. DONE done. No second chances. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. You're done. They're going full Leroy Jenkins.
Yeah. What is it? Tension, said the tensor. Tension, apprehension, and dissension have begun. They've pushed this vetting of troops, this business of trying to suss out not just who are Trump supporters, but who are Republicans in the forces. They call upon people to ask in a nonpartisan manner when they are on active duty and in uniform. And now, but what they are now doing is political witch hunting within the branches. Yeah,
retired early.
I mean, they're going to lose a lot of quality people now. Unfortunately, that's going to redound in their favor to some extent because they'll have all the good little bootlicking lackeys who are perfectly willing to overlook the fact that somebody just suggested they put a Totenkopf on their collar.
Well, but Prospero, do you know what that does? What that does to
morale?
Well, no, I'm talking about tactical readiness. I'm talking about being ready to execute on a combat plan in a moment's notice.
You saw what happened in Afghanistan. Do you think that is the prime concern of the Pentagon right now?
Yeah, I agree with you. What were you going to say, Jenna? I'm sorry.
I said followers don't become leaders.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, just given the complete shit show that Afghanistan was, I don't think force combat readiness is one of the top priorities. We know that General Milley actually
I even got what from that.
Mostly concerned about white rage.
Yeah.
I cannot say on air.
But I disagree.
Get the channel removed. What I would like to see happen to General Milley.
I disagree with that.
The phrase "a la lanterne" comes to mind.
What are you going to say, Irate?
I disagree with that. I think that you have to be a good follower to become a good leader. You have to
learn. You have to be able to follow to be able to be a good leader.
Definitely. You have to be able to follow and execute orders. The idea is that when you're like a junior officer or even junior enlisted man, petty officer, coming up, you follow a lot of orders, but you also learn how to and why those orders are given. You begin to understand the process and you begin to develop confidence and consistency and so forth. And that's how you mold yourself into being a leader. And also, the service molds you into being more and more of a leader. And by the time you get to be a mid-level officer, you're probably feeling pretty confident about controlling operations and directing operations of a certain size. And it's just more of the same thing, just gets bigger and bigger. You do start out as a follower, and it's the names of the ranks are actually a key to that. For example, a private takes care of his own stuff, and that's all he's responsible for. That's why he's called a private. That's actually the genesis of where that name comes from. A general, on the other hand, is in charge of everything, and so their outlook is very general. The private's outlook is quite private, individualized. The general is far-reaching and encompasses the whole operation. So, military organizational behavior and administration and leadership, I don't get me started. I'll take up the rest of the stream. But make a long story short, it's a complicated process how leaders are made. You do start out as a follower, but you are a follower who keeps their eyes open and tries to develop and recognizes that they'll be changed by the process, and by doing some disciplined learning along the way, you can become someone who can direct larger and larger operations. More than you wanted to know about leaders and followers, but that's just a little bit of clarification for Irate.
I didn't. What I was talking about are the followers that follow blindly.
Yeah,
If
you
they're
talk
told what to
about
do-
the pussies who toady up and
Yeah,
and
'cause-
all they want to do is curry favor and stay out of trouble. Yes,
Can
there
I
are-
sign your
there are
shoes?
those.
Can I? And it's all this suck up,
Yeah,
but they'll never
exactly.
achieve anything because
Mhm.
they're
Because
not
they're losers.
I-
Yeah,
watching
I think
and
Millie is a
learning.
good example.
They're too
of
busy
that.
sucking up.
Did you see
those
the
are
interview with
Von
the?
Moltke's fourth quadrant, and those are the ones that he said you shoot.
There's a
Love the
TikTok
Germans
by that.
directed. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, there's a TikTok by that one female army officer. I don't think she was an officer. I think she was like a private. I don't know how they're doing it, EU whatever now, but and she was saying, if I'm ordered to turn my gun on you, average normal people, then I'm going to fucking do it.
Yeah.
And it was chilling. It was kind of bone chilling, to hear her say that shit. You just blindly do it.
Yeah. When I was in the Navy, that would have earned you a psych discharge if you made that statement.
Yeah, no shit.
You'd be gone in about a week.
So I think I know what not Skep, what Jenna was sort of trying to say. Because unless you're at the top or the bottom, you're going to be both leading and following. If you look at the Pareto principle, the whole 80-20 thing, in any group of people, there's going to be 80% that are more passive and 20% that are more aggressive. All that aggression really determines is how far up the pyramid you're going to go. And also what you were saying, Skep, speaking of pyramids, I was thinking if I started selling Herbalife, I was going to use some of that. To try to convince people to keep it.
Okay.
I could just see you selling Herbalife.
Yeah.
No, Amway, man.
We're having a party. Come by the party.
MLM, man.
The reason I say the follower leader thing is I watched my husband go through his entire career where he started as an officer, yes, but he didn't get to where he is by just going, okay, I'll do that.
Well, the aggression and the risk-taking help you move up the chain of command. But everybody, like I said, unless you're at the top or the bottom, you're always going to be leading and following. Everybody has to listen to somebody or somebodies, and almost everybody has other people they're responsible for.
And so that's that really is it. But
Nice of them to demonstrate that responsibility.
I'm quite concerned when I see a guy like Millie in charge of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, because that means that there is considerable rot, and it's in the general offices, it's in the flag ranks, and that makes me very sad on the one hand, and it worries me on the other, that you have a bunch of essentially frightened bureaucrats where you need to have strong, intelligent, experienced generals, fighting men. You have guys with 6 Bronze Stars without a V, without a Valor badge, which means that
they never fought.
it means that, you made sure that you put in for that Bronze Star. Don't you think I should get a Bronze Star? Yeah, we'll give you a Bronze Star. Here,
It's
goddamn
the
Bronze
new
Star.
Peter principle is what it is. Instead of
Exactly.
just getting rising up until you can't be promoted anymore because you've hit your level of incompetence.
Right.
You just reward people for time served and being agreeable.
What
All you
I-
have to do is be agreeable and put your time in. And you will get moved up. I've seen people who've tried to destroy their career in government up close. All they have to do is just follow orders and wait, and they get rehabilitated. And before you realize it, 10 years later, they're in charge of shit they have no business being in charge of.
Yeah, if
Boy.
you've never
I'd
seen
like to,
combat, you should not.
I'd like to know who recommended Millie to Trump.
Oh shit! I swear he's talked
Jim
about
Acosta.
Yeah. Yeah, like he'd take Acosta's advice. That's what
That was the
that's
joke.
what I'd like to know, because Millie is so much of a REMF. It had to be known, and you can't hide that kind of ribbon chasing.
Rare echelon motherfucker.
Okay,
Yeah.
here's how we got there. In 2018, Millie was involved in deciding whether the Army would publish a controversial study on the 2003 to 2006 Iraq War. Millie reportedly decided he wanted to read the 2-volume, 1,300-page document before making a decision, and he directed an external panel of scholars review the work. After the panel returned glowing reviews of the study, including one that described it as the gold standard in official history, Millie continued to delay publication so he could review it further. In September 2018, the Secretary of the Army decided to distance themselves from that study by casting it as an independent work of the authors instead of being described as a project by the Chief of Staff of the Army's Operation Iraqi Freedom Study Group, the study group that did the study. When confronted by a journalist from the Wall Street Journal in 2018, Millie reversed these decisions, ordering the study published officially with a foreword from himself. He said the team who wrote the study did a damn good job. The study itself was solid work, and that he aimed to publish the study by the holidays. Within days of this revelation, 2 members of Congress who sit on the House Armed Services Committee, 2 Democrats, Jackie Speier and Ruben Gallo, sent a letter to Army leaders expressing their anger over the delay. In a press release accompanying the letter to Millie and Esper, they said, "This is simply the Army being unwilling to publicly air its mistake. Our military, Congress, and the American people deserve nothing less than total transparency, blah, 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 blah. The Army has identified, so we can use these lessons to avoid costly, deadly mistakes of the past." That was when he proved his bona fides as I will suck up to you and protect your flank. And that was when he became a safe candidate for JCS. That's how he got in, was because of what he did with that study.
Yeah, I just want to
He protected the Army, basically.
Yeah, that was in 2013, but I want to know who recommended him to Trump, because I mean, I knew that he had some prominence before, but he had to be recommended.
Well, he had been
Who was in
initially
before?
fielded as a candidate to succeed some guy as commander of the United States European Command. But after interviews with Donald Trump, Trump nominated him for the chairmanship instead. And his nomination was controversial because Madison Dunford favored another guy. If that guy had been selected, he would have been the Air Force's first chairman, in almost 20 years. Madison Dunford recommended the other guy. News accounts indicated that Trump chose Millie because he and Millie formed a close relationship during the interview process. What happened was Millie affixed his sucker-like appendage to Trump and stroked Trump's ego, and that's how all that happened.
Yeah,
because Trump should not have liked him.
No,
No.
but he knew how to kiss ass, and
Exactly.
Trump
And
loves people kissing his ass.
Is vulnerable to that. Yeah.
Yep, it's one of
Ivy
those.
League horseshit.
It's one of the reasons I don't want him to run again.
He shot himself in the foot with that one.
Yeah, and yeah, he did. And
think about it before you do it. Just don't.
well,
Well, he certainly does stroke my ego.
Trump is known as being an impulsive decision maker.
I know. It's just.
Ooh.
Here's an interesting thing.
I have so many issues.
After he was
Millie.
nominated, he headed a commission with other military officials, but he was the head of it, that was responsible for designing a report on the country's impending near-term impacts from, wait for it, climate change.
For fuck's sakes.
Yep.
What a fucktard.
Yeah, what a political weasel. You're the
This is
chairman of the Joint
existential
Chiefs of
threat.
Staff.
Yeah,
and he
he's
wants to know about white rage and climate change.
He's like if somebody had told me that he came with a UN letter of recommendation,
Yeah.
I'd believe it.
Yeah.
And as far as all that accountability in the army owning up to its mistakes, he looked like I don't think that meant much to him when it came to present day circumstances, because the whole weasel bullshit that we have heard about Afghanistan is kind of running contrary. What it is Milley didn't have anything to do with the Iraq war enough that it could damage him. So he didn't care who he damaged. He was more
That's
than happy.
absolutely right.
Yeah, he was probably getting back at a couple people he didn't like because they knew he was a goddamn
spineless skit.
REMF. And
but this is something. It's not just with Milley. So many of Trump's picks were picked because he either thought they were loyal or somebody loyal to him told him that they would be. And there was so much incompetence from that White House. I mean, that's why DACA got upheld in the Supreme Court. Literally just a fucking technical thing because the people who did it didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
Yep.
Yeah, Trump's thing was, if you're loyal to me, I'll be loyal to you. But that's great. In
That's
business.
admirable.
That's not how you. It is, but that's not how you run a country.
Well, you can, but it has to still be. You have to be loyal and competent. That's the part he forgot.
Being both is.
And over again, he forgot the competent part.
Exactly.
Trump did have us where we were self-efficient. He was getting sex worker,
that was a main reason they'd like to get rid of him. He didn't like trafficking.
Yeah, well, what? Biden changed that bill day one. More importantly, we were pretty much self-efficient.
Well, self-sufficient on fuel as far as the oil and natural gas stuff. And that we had, the bed got short-sheeted the minute Biden strolled in.
Yeah.
And then very, very quietly, he began reversing some of those.
Faithless said Trump expected honor from snakes. Here's the thing. Coming from the business world, it's a lot easier to just pick a candidate, and even if you have to, train them a little bit in the job. So loyalty is important. In government, once you're talking about things like running the goddamn military, you need somebody who's actually proficient. And that's where he made his mistake time and time again. You're not wrong that a lot of them turned out to be snakes, but there were several who were very loyal to him all the way to the end, and they still sucked.
I think what's interesting, and it very well could be a naive aspect to Trump's personality, and he has several areas in which he's incredibly naive. Trump is a patriot, actually almost a jingoist, and he would not understand the concept of how much politics there are at the Pentagon. He would think that the military is the military and that they serve with honor at the forefront.
Eyes on the mission.
Eyes on the mission, but honor and country. Honor and country. Honor and country. Now, that is true for a significant number of people in the military. But honor is not a word I'd throw around in the E-ring very much.
No, those guys have one eye on their detailer and one eye on the promotion board.
Yes.
Well, just look at the people that went in to help after Biden pulled completely out of Afghanistan, and the ones that were just like, I'm going to ignore it, even though I have training on how to get help.
Yeah, they just, well, yeah, I mean, it's through and through, the Pentagon is rotten. I mean, particularly the inner circle. And it is political. It's a lot of ass sniffing. It's been that way for ages. I mean, one of Abraham Lincoln's failings in the Civil War was ending up with a political general as his commander of the Army of the Potomac. And he was stuck with McClellan for far longer than he ever should have been.
He was too loyal to McClellan.
Yeah, he was, well, it was political. It was political, and it was, I think, again, naivete. Lincoln had not served in the military. Trump went to a military academy. He didn't serve in the military. He didn't understand that there were far more REMFs than you know.
Trump is really clueless about military organization. The stuff about him going to a military school, he didn't learn what he needed to learn.
Well, he went to
I don't think he went to military school to learn to. I think you're putting too much into military school for him to learn how back channels work.
Yeah, no. I mean, the Corps of Cadets at a 2-bit military academy in New York. I mean, I'm sorry to run it down that way, but it's not like attending the point.
Yeah.
No, but here's the thing. I get what you're saying, and I don't disagree with you. But he seemed to be like that with everybody. Even so many people in Washington, D.C., people we would call snakes to their face given the chance. Mm-hmm. He would be like, well, this guy's not going to fuck me over. Like,
yeah.
He seems so naive about all of that stuff because in the business world.
Bolton. I mean, seriously, bro. You're mining the Bush administration.
He runs anti-war and hires John Bolton.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But in the business world, he can be up there and just go, all right, no, fuck you. You did it wrong. I'm firing you. Get the hell out. You can't do that in government.
Well, there have been arguments made that we need an economic president, and we need co-presidents. We need somebody to tend to domestic economic policy. And
so somebody with an economics degree like AOC is president.
She doesn't have an economics degree. For the love of Christ, she does not have an economics degree.
From Boston University. How dare you?
She does not.
How dare you?
Hey, I went to Boston University.
She has a degree.
We're not proud of her.
She has a degree program that is called International Relations and Economics. One giant
sociology of economics. Is what
bullshit.
I looked at the curriculum.
Yeah, I looked up her curriculum too.
It's basically the sociology of international relations.
It's Marxism 101 too.
Yeah, it is absolutely.
Two of her courses were like the economics of Central America and the economics of Latin, South America, which you know what that is. It's Marxism except for Pinochet. So it's like,
well, it's you don't learn. She's never been taught the tools of micro and macroeconomics.
No.
She's never suffered.
She had a survey course I did.
Yeah, she's never suffered through that first year of economics and doing regression analysis. And,
no.
What do you mean it takes calculus? Yeah, you got to know calculus. You better know it cold.
Yeah, no. She took a survey. She took a general survey of economics, like I did. Without the Samuelson, the principles of economics. That kind of thing.
She's never had Samuelson. She's never studied
Samuelson.
Wow.
That's
she doesn't understand supply and demand.
Yeah, Samuelson is the primer. The first year economics majors all take a guy, Paul Samuelson. Wrote the economics textbooks like Thomas on calculus.
No, I think if you ran up to her and said, quick define opportunity cost, she'd go, huh?
Yeah, that's exactly right. She literally would not know what that means.
Yep.
If you said do a first order regression analysis,
I
on
wouldn't
this
even
graph,
ask. I wouldn't even ask her
wouldn't
for that.
She
I'd
wouldn't.
tell her to
Hey.
define it in ice cream cones the way it was
Look.
in the textbook I had. I mean,
She read a book by a town in New England. How dare you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How dare you? How dare you?
Oh my
Yes.
god.
Yeah, blah
As
blah
to the-
blah.
And
I
the
want to hear
peculiar
your blah blah blah.
the peculiar
not you
children
lead
shall
people?
lead us. God almighty. You know what? All I can think of when I look at Greta is, you remember the Star Trek, the original series episode called "And the Children Shall Lead"
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Sure.
with the
Oh my
the
gosh.
Gorgon
Yeah.
that was managing them, played interestingly enough by a trial
Melvin
lawyer
Belli.
named Melvin Bella. Yeah.
Belli was quite the character.
Yeah. But she's straight out of Central Casting for that show.
By the way, quick thing on Melvin Belli. His office was in the same building as a place to eat in San Francisco called the THUR Grill, and it was his favorite restaurant. And it's my favorite restaurant in San Francisco also, and I've eaten at a few there.
Yeah.
It is absolutely awesome. It's at 500 block of California Street. If you're ever down there, eat at the THUR Grill. You will not regret it.
Yeah. She
Okay, advertisement over. Sorry.
But that girl is straight out of Central Casting for could you get us a fetal alcohol syndrome example and stand her in the corner? I mean, really sorry, but she looks like either she's
And she reasons about that one.
FAS or she's autistic.
Yeah, what I
My
hate
favorite
is-
color is ham. Is that
Yes.
what we're talking?
Yeah, what
Wait,
retardation is going on here?
IP is that link for real?
Yes, it's real.
What a
The
tardation.
CIA admits to losing dozens of information
Yeah.
informants.
Yes.
Yep.
It seems like there's been a lot of compromise, a capture and killing of assets all over the world, not just in
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
Afghanistan, right?
in Afghanistan right now, they're hanging them outside the door.
Yeah. Of course
Yeah,
they
They're
are.
killing them in front of the families.
But yeah, what it is they sent a whole bunch of cables, and this has been verified. I guess it's on the fucking New York Times, so it's got to be the truth, I guess. But yeah,
When it comes to reportage like this, usually the Times is
The last to admit
Yeah.
it.
well,
exactly.
yeah. The WAPO is usually like the first on something like this. So if the Times is reporting it, Yeah, it sounds like somebody's leaking like hell out of some place they're not supposed to.
They're saying they can't get any assets, man. Nobody's signing up.
Well, why would they? We turn
Yeah,
and leave them behind.
Yeah.
Right, the
We
French
just
got
sent
mad
a
at us and
signal
that-
to the entire fucking world that you cannot trust the United States
We were out on the 11th now.
or our intelligence gathering services. Not when we leave lists of people behind conveniently marked with their addresses. Here, would
That
you
was
like
amazing.
the
That
GPS?
was absolutely amazing.
Here are the GPS coordinates in case you can't read.
Well, don't worry, they can just type it into the tanks we left them. I'm sure they have GPS.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's great. Absolutely great. It's just great. There's nothing
Low
nothing to worry about.
Jackson.
Fortunately, we have over the horizon capability, so we'll be able to take out any terrorists who
that's
happen
right.
to go in there.
Mm.
I'm sure we're
Except for the
doing that
ones
now.
that are
Don't
probably
blow up our own shit.
Yeah.
pouring over the southern border.
Well, the
Yeah.
ones that didn't get vetted, and when they found out people were going to go vet, they moved them to the U.S. military bases in the United States.
Oh yeah, we got a bunch of them down in Fort Lee. Joy, Rapture, Passion, Divine. I hope they're in touch with their buddies up in Fairfax County. Wahhabis usually love to run together.
They're all fucktards.
You know, the Diabandi and the Wahhabi will
Indeed.
strike up a deal. Yeah, you're not wrong, Jenna.
I am so sick of this.
Yeah, there are a bunch of them at Fort Lee. I'm thrilled.
Well, anyway, just to give us a little bit of a palate cleanser, as Harry would say, a little sorbet between courses, or at the end of all this, might be a little bit more fun to talk about. Has anybody, one of the things that happens is something that comes up in one of our talks in the evening. Came from Harry's show, and we were talking about the James Webb Space Telescope, and I thought I'm going to go check that out because I didn't really know that much about it, and I knew roughly what its mission was, and I knew it was going to be sitting on a Lagrange point, and that was about the extent of what I knew about it. This is an absolutely amazing device, project, thing. It has a mirror that is so complicated to make that it staggers the imagination. It's made of beryllium, which I think is interesting, and it's covered with gold, and that has some characteristics with reflection of infrared light. It's 70 feet by 48 feet, so it's roughly the size of a tennis court, and it weighs 7 tons, which is about as much as a school bus. It's going to orbit the sun at a distance from Earth in what's called the Lagrange point, which is a place where it can basically stay stable. That's hard. And it'll be 940,000 miles away from Earth. So it's 4 times farther away, roughly, than the moon. And I just think the whole project is amazing, from the design of the thing, putting it together, and deploying it. And then essentially you can never maintain this thing because of where it is. It's so far away from Earth. We just don't have a spaceship system that can go out and do anything to help it if anything bad happens to it. It's just absolutely an amazing thing. Harry, what do you know about the James Webb?
Oh, probably not as much as I should. I mean, in terms of why we're building this thing, right? The Hubble can only see so far, because as things get older in the universe, they're further and further away. And since the universe is expanding, things are moving away from each other. That takes the light and stretches it out. And it introduces what's called a redshift. So your reds turn into infrareds.
Right.
And it just, so anything that's particularly old is not visible. So you can't use Hubble to see things that are too far away and too far back in time.
So you want something that's optimized for infrared.
You want something that's optimized for infrared. If you keep going beyond that, you get to microwave, which is what you do with radio telescopes. So we're kind of filling that gap between microwave telescopes and optical telescopes with the Webb, which is going to let us see a whole class of things really, really well that we haven't really been able to see before. So your quasi-stellar objects, early galaxy formation, all of that kind of stuff is going to be nicely in range. Yeah.
I mean, this is cool. I love space stuff. So anything like this gets my ear. But I just remember when Hubble went up and they had to almost immediately fix it.
Yep.
Yes.
It was under warranty. So it was
That
okay.
was
Well,
funny
we're
as
putting
hell.
this one where we can't even do that. So they better make sure they get it right.
No
Right
kidding.
on.
And then it was myopic, so they had to. Wasn't there an issue with the lens?
Yeah, it wasn't
Yeah.
seated right or something.
Yeah,
The
they
lens was-
they didn't disassemble a testing rig and took some readings and then polished it wrong. Basically, the polishing error was measured in thousandths of an inch.
Mhm.
That's
Oh,
the level of the error that I forget what it was precisely, but
It'll be really
Yeah.
cool if this works out. Really cool. When Hubble started giving us the images, man, I was there for days just staring.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hubble
Stuff
was
is gorgeous.
incredibly cool.
Beautiful.
But speaking of cool, for this thing, God, why am I segueing all the time? I really suck. You have to actually keep this thing cold because otherwise the infrared sensors can't do their job.
yeah.
So a lot of this is just having this big honking heat shield that basically protects it from the
That-
heat of the sun, so it can look
Yes.
into deep space.
Yes.
Because you're dealing with these not very energetic photons that have to get captured. You have got to get these amazing images. It's a pretty, I don't know, as an American, I think it's a pretty awesome thing. I mean, I'm sure there's some European Space Agency crap in there and some Japanese stuff, but I mean, we largely took point on this. And so, as proud as the Europeans are of the Large Hadron Collider at CERN, I think we can feel justifiably proud, both as Americans and as humans, for building this amazing thing.
Oh, absolutely. And we don't take enough pride in shit that we do like that. There's so many people these days, oh, why are we doing anything in space? Like, you realize this is a small planet, right? Getting smaller every day. Our future lies out there somewhere.
The derp alone is going to chase us off the planet and out into space. So, you know, it's
Yeah.
just-
I'm ready to go. Just fire my ass up there.
We
Oh,
also
no, I
get
can't do
so
that.
much.
I got a new kitten.
Oh yeah, we get so much cool stuff every time we do things like this because
Yes.
on the one hand, you can take a bunch of pretty smart people and say, hey, in exchange for $100,000 a year, you're going to make a better photocopier, you're going to make a better this, you're going to make a better drug, whatever. But there's a whole bunch of people that we want to put to work, and if you just say, look, we'll pay you shit to work on this amazing project, and you know, like Apollo, what was the number? The ratio is like 10-1. For every dollar we put into that, we got about $10 out in terms of economic growth.
It's probably much more, actually.
But I mean, everything from semiconductors to
Almost incalculable.
all of the people who didn't die because of what we learned from that horrible
Well, they
disaster
did.
with
Just
those guys
that-
who died on the ground.
And the orbital mechanics that we perfected. I mean, you
Well,
know, it's one
that's
thing
what I'm
to have to do it with math on the ground. It's another thing to get up there and do it.
You see these assholes who are using, you know, all of this technology that largely came from space program. And they have no fucking idea that it didn't. They're, why are we doing this? Like, go back to your Amish life then, you little bitch.
Yeah.
Well, or the ones on, you know, the Berkeley campus who, you know, say, I don't see why we can't take money from the space program and just end poverty in the world. with
Give it
that
to the
money."
poor people.
Hey, if I pay taxes and I have to pay for your scabies treatment, you can just shut the hell up about my rocket. That's the way I feel
Absolutely.
about it.
Yeah.
Hose them down
Absolutely.
with Tang. How do
Yeah.
you like me now?
Yeah, we're rich. We can actually fund the free clinic and be the world's policeman and build the giant space telescope. We can do all three of these things. What we can't do is pay a bunch of social freeloaders to stay home and get a guaranteed income. I have no
but we're
patience for
trying.
fucking freeloaders.
I'm sure they'll invent really good stuff while they're freeloading. It'll
I
help
don't-
society.
Or pay them. They'll invent a bunch of new pronouns. That's for damn sure.
Ah, the $1 trillion coin.
don't
Guys, I need to take off.
Well, yeah,
Yes, you do.
actually, you know, we're
Yeah.
gonna shut this down now
Oh, okay.
anyway. So,
Yep.
so I was about to send it around the horn. Monkey, you want to
May
go
I,
first?
may I go first? Because I have to
Oh,
go to
yeah.
my stupid meeting.
Oh, that's right. You've got your meeting. Go ahead, Harry.
Happy birthday, Skep. Good night.
Oh, thank you. Good night, bud.
Good night, Harry.
Thanks for being here.
Not
See you
Harry.
later.
Hi,
And
Harry.
how about you, Monkey? Any parting thoughts? Parting shillage? What's going on?
No show. It's just a parting thought. I was thinking about this today because of things that were going on. Guys, life sucks sometimes, but it's still wonderful. And if you look for the wonderful, you'll realize it don't suck so much.
Amen, brother.
Monkey,
amen.
before you go, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Why did
You
you
just
change
did.
your show name to After Party?
There's two different shows.
Oh,
There's Monkey in the Morning, and then there's After Party. I do After Party sometimes, but Monkey in the Morning is the main one.
Monkey in the Morning never shows up in the thing, but After Party does. So I'll have to check.
Yeah,
that
they
out.
don't know to suppress it yet, but they'll get to it. Yeah. I hear you. But anyway, thanks for coming on, Monkey. It's been so
happy
so
birthday,
good.
dude! I'm sorry I
Oh,
wasn't
yeah.
here last week.
No, it's my it's a pleasure having you on this week. You're always welcome on the show, you know that. And
I
we
wanna
do
see
this
him,
every Tuesday. So but anyway, I appreciate you coming on, and just makes it the more the merrier as far as I'm concerned. Irate, what do you got, bud?
Well, I've been Sue logged, and I think tomorrow I'm out of the Sue. I think at midnight my time, which is 30 minutes ago, ish. I'm out of the Sue log now. So, but tomorrow night XD at 7:30. Central, which is 8:30 Eastern, and 5:30 Pacific. Yeah, we're going to be doing XD. I don't know what we're going to do. So, but Accelerate always pulls up something interesting to talk about. Friday, it will be Cream Stream number 192. 191 has been yeeted. You can only find it on BitChute.
Of course.
Yes.
And
Susan
where
didn't
else can
like
they
it.
find you? What other platforms are you uploading to?
Okay, well, all right. So yeah, Odyssey. I've been streaming on Odyssey in conjunction with Twitch, and I'm leaving Trovo and DLive because they're ruled by the Chinese. I'm as just as a principal. And who am I missing? I'm not much on Rumble, man. It's just like there's too much shit, you know.
Gotcha.
So
Right.
yeah.
But
Anyway,
you upload things to BitChute too.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good deal. Thanks for coming by. It's great. It's great to have you back. And
Happy
Irate.
birthday, big boy.
Oh, that was
Day
just
older and deeper
creepy.
in debt.
I want that to be my phone ring.
All right.
My phone thing.
Jenna, do you have any parting thoughts before we shut it down?
Happy birthday.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks for hanging with us. It's always great to have you here, and really appreciate what you have to say and offer. So thanks for being here. Prospero, my wing woman.
Say that.
Yes, sir.
Tell me what's up.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
It's just it'll be your birthday for like 3 or 4 more days.
I'm not dead yet.
That's how you do it. And
Absolutely.
and my husband has one coming up on Saturday.
I was just going to say he's got one coming up, and my wife's birthday is the 21st, and
I know a herd of October people. Just
yeah,
a mess of October.
Yeah, just a bunch of them. So anyway, get it all over at once. All right. Well, I want to thank chat for coming out and listening to us. We do this for you, and thank you. Appreciate you. You add a lot to the show, and we see you out there. Thank you, panel. Thanks to everybody, to Satsu, to Blind Press, to Ranting Monkey, to Irate, Jenna, Prospero, Harry. You guys are the very best, and I want to thank you for making this just the happiest of birthdays. I just have had an absolute blast today as a result of all that. And I wanted to
You're a hell of a guy and even a better
I had
friend.
a quote up, and I seem to have closed it, so I guess
Let me guess, Lazarus Long.
No, it's not. It's not.
Oh, daggone it!
Anything like that. It was a. Let's see. What was it? It was a.
This codger brought to you by the number 69.
It's an odd thing.
It's so nice you can literally be a dirty old man.
Oh, here it is. I've got it right here. All right. Well, anyway, I wanted to share with you a quote from David Bowie, of all people, talking about aging. He said, aging is an extraordinary process where you become the person you always should have been.
Oh, I like that.
There's some real truth in that. You know, every once in a while, Bowie could hit it out of the park. But just wanted to leave you guys with that. And we're going to end it for tonight. Thanks again for being a part of it. Zoo is closed. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Hey, I have nothing to brag, Monk.